Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is a Bofors Tornvagn. It's a tier 8 Swedish premium heavy tank. Last seen in the Christmas boxes. This one is under the command of Fluffylilkitten and is in a reborn platoon with Johnny the Track and is that Bennyman or Bennyman? I don't know. Anyway, we'll just call him Ben, shall we? Anyway, he's been spotted already, so somebody on the enemy team managed to get up to the centre line fairly quickly. He's armed with a 120mm gun, capable of 400 alpha, and yeah, he's just spotted that Link 6x6. That was probably the guy who spotted him. Now that 120 will penetrate 248mm with standard APCR, and with the premium APCR it goes up to 297, so there's not much improvement for using premium ammo. And of course Fluffy has been training himself not to use the 2 key. He used to have it superglued to the 2 key, but now he's actually managed to get some solvent and removed his finger from the key, and he actually plays the tank normally with normal ammunition and just carries some premium just in case he needs it, which is a good advice. Now, what can I tell you about the Bofors? Well, as you can see, it's got a very narrow turret indeed. And that's about all I can tell you, because Wargaming haven't seen fit to actually include anything in the wiki yet. So I don't know much about it, other than the fact that it's got that very odd turret. And I believe the crew are actually inside the hull, not in the turret. Oh, nice shot there on the Oho at distance. You could hear rounds bouncing off him, and in fact actually he's already blocked 200, and he's, well, that was a penetrating shot there from the Camp Baza 07 RH. Now his platoon mates have gone up to the hull, and they can spot for him. He's actually moved over the position I would normally stay in, because there's a little dip just over where he was, where you can actually sit hull down and shoot at the hill, and he wasn't sitting in there. Now I've seen other players use that spot and devastate the enemy tanks on the hull simply because they can see the enemy tanks and shoot at them, but the enemy tanks can't shoot back because he's in that depression. Instead, he's going to use the position a little bit closer, which makes him vulnerable to enemy tanks that come up to the centre line, and there are a couple of enemy tanks at the centre line. But there's a T-28 up there. Nice shot, 450 high roll. But he was seen. It's very difficult for the enemy to get shots back on the Tornvagn anyway, simply because the turret is so narrow. As you've seen, the Kampfpanzer 07 did get a hit into him. Gun depression is 10 degrees on this tank, by the way, and I think you can increase that going over the sides as well. Okay, we just lost one of our teammates. Ben, in the Emil 1951, got taken out by the AMX 5100, and I think he's one of the tanks just across the way. He got a shot into the rear of the T-28, but we took a round from the Link 6x6, who must be up on the hill by now. Now we've got a Lurva. Can we get a shot into him? Yes! Right through the side. I think he wanted to get an ammo rack, and that's why he was aiming for the middle of the tank. Of course, you always try to aim for the rear if you can to get an engine fire. That immobilises the tank. But ammo racks are just as good. Don't aim for the turret on the Lurva ever, because it's very bouncy. Not unless you've got extreme penetration from your gun do you ever aim for the turret on a Lurva. The standard reload for this tank is 14.68 seconds. Fluffy's got it down to 12.47, so obviously he's using the equipment that will do that, plus of course he's probably got a good crew that he took out one of the other tanks. Great thing about premium tanks like this is you can swap crews from another vehicle, and effectively it trains the crew for that particular vehicle, and of course it can swap free of charge without actually having to be retrained for it. Okay, Emil. No, you're not going to penetrate an Emil. That's the problem with the front plate to you. With the turret to you, rather. It's very difficult to get a pen. The enemy just lost the Centurion 1 a short distance away. He blew up. A Yo tank got him. Now we're looking at the Patriot up on the hill, but there's another one up there, and we were spotted. And I think that's the tank in front of us that's seeing us. Yeah, it's the Emil again. Again, this is the value of being on the other side. No, you're not going to get shells through there. And we now took a round through the barrel. I'm not quite sure where on the barrel it actually went. Can't see, but it did hit the gun. Oh, maybe it was that shot that went through the turret. That's the value of just being on the other side of the house. You go to the other side and they can't see you, but you can actually shoot through the houses at them when they pop up to the centre line. The AMX 5100 just took a round from our platoon mate up on the hill, and now the Emil's going to suffer. Yes! Low roll, but 353. He actually turned his turret sideways and exposed the weak point, which is the side of the turret, or the bustle at the rear, which is where the ammo is going in. The AMX 5100's pulled back. He might be reloading. $2,000 hit points of damage so far, 1,500 blocked. I don't think the Emil's going to come up and expose his turret so easily next time. I think he's going to be looking this way. Now this is an encounter game, and our guys are capping at the moment. We've got the IS-6 in the cap. The enemy is sending up a Jagdtiger 88, the premium Jagdtiger, to try and block him. He's crawling up the railway line slowly. But I think the Emil's trying to get shots on our IS-6, and oh, he pays for it again with a high roll this time, 417, and he got it directly into the bustle. That's the place to aim if you want to get an ammo rack. Just aim for that bustle. Hopefully a shell will set one off, and then the turret goes off like a, well, it goes off with a satisfying bang. Enemy IS-3 over there. We might be able to get shots on him, but he's gone. MX 5100 is pulling back again. I think he might be in reload. I'm afraid we did lose Johnny the Track in the other tank. We didn't see it happen, but he got taken out in his TNH 105 1000. The Emil's obviously trying to get us, and with that shot he's actually handed us a steel wall, which means we must have received 11 shots, and that one went through the cupola to take out the Emil, and he's doing it with standard ammo as well, which is great. It's very difficult to hit the cupola on the Emil, very difficult, but he managed to get that one. Yeah, so it's now Fluffy all on his own, but our team is one up on the enemy. We seem to have the advantage on the west side of the map. We don't have the hill, unfortunately. They managed to knock out our tanks trying to get up the hill. But they haven't emerged from the hill yet, because we do have 2 tanks, an SU-101 and the Schwarzpanzer, who are watching that area, and they haven't seen anybody come down from the hill. The AMX 5100, he looks like he's going to try and get into the cap. Thank you very much. Low roll, but it's 352, and it did hurt him. But he is in the cap now, and oh, lovely one. The Skoda T56 takes him out from the other side of the battlefield. But he was spotted while he was doing that. You know, I have the feeling that what Fluffy is doing here is he's actually distracting the enemy, because he's so close to the cap. He's stopping them from moving over into the cap, but he's actually acting as a focus. The enemy keeps spotting him, and they can't do much about him. He's still here. And I think that might be the advantage of the Bofors, is that you can spot the enemy, but the enemy finds it very difficult to take you out. 2,500, in fact 2,600 block damage so far with that steel wall. If he's still alive at the end of the game, he might actually get that steel wall. He's just rocking backwards and forwards. All he needs to do at this moment. Oh, target! And this is where that gun comes in useful. Shot into the engine bay, 361, so another low roll. He has had a few of those, but... oh, FCM. Looks like he's come a bit lower. He might be trying to get into the cap from the other side. I don't think we can get a shot on him unless we expose our hull. Okay, well, he's taking a risk, getting closer, and I think he is going to go into the cap. This will be good. Yak Tiger. Oh, it hit the tracks. It went low. Come on, Fluffy, you can do it. Just wait for that reload to go through. One into the casement. Oh, gone. Okay, you can change targets. Can't hit the Patriot up on the hill because he's in the hull down position. We might be able to hit the Progetto. Yes, nice hit. High roll, 406. He's now up to 3.7k. The Progetto dies. 3 up on the enemy. There's only got 2 tanks left, the Patriot and the FCM. The FCM is under pressure. The Patriot's under pressure. He's being hit. Fluffy's got no shot on the Patriot at the moment. If he goes into the cap, he might force the Patriot to come out of the cap to get a reset. Instead, he's just angling for the best position to take a shot at the Patriot the moment he gets exposed. He is a one-shot, so he can end the game with this shot because he is the last enemy alive. No, tries to lob a shell in there in the hope that it will actually go in, but it's fairly high shell velocity, 1,000 meters per second, which means that the shell's hasn't got a big dip. And that's the end of the Patriot, and it's a victory. Well, I have to say, very well played by Fluffylilkitten in this Bofors Tornvagn. It's the first game where he's had a first-class tanker because he's got the scrolls underneath. You only get those the first time. He got a fire for effect for doing more damage than the hit points for his own vehicle, a shell proof for blocking more damage than the hit points for his own vehicle, a spotter for spotting at least 1,000 hit points of damage when he was helping his teammates to put rounds into the enemy, even the ones closer to the cap area, and he also got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In this one he managed to get 8. He did get the steel wall at the end of the game because, of course, he blocked the most damage in the game, and that was partially thanks to that Emil, who just, well, he was the one who actually gave him the steel wall at that point by bouncing around off him at the end. And he also got a Confederate as well for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else in his team. At least 6 tanks subsequently taken out by other teammates. His win rate from that game, 4,749, which is Super Unicum standard. And he did that game with mostly standard ammo. In fact, I don't remember him actually loading premium ammo in that game. And as a result, he's probably going to end up with a nice healthy profit. Let's have a look at the team score and see where he is. Well, the highest damage in the game was actually done by the Skoda T56, and he was on the other side of the battlefield. And I suspect that Fluffy was actually spotting for that guy, because I know that the Skoda did take out one of the enemy tanks, I think it was the AMX 5100, wasn't it? Who actually came up over the railway line. Fluffy put a round into him, and then the Skoda finished him off from the other side of the battlefield. So, yes, I think he benefited from Fluffy's work. He got 4,364 hit points in the high caliber. And the second highest damage goes to Fluffy with 3,727, slow and steady. And the third highest damage in the game actually goes to that Kampfpanzer 07 RH, who actually did put a round into Fluffy. He got 3,205. When it came to kills, it was the Progetto 46 on our team did the best with 4 kills. 3 kills went to the Striv 81, and 2 kills went to the Skoda T56, the Emil 1, and the FCM 50 ton. Fluffy only got the 1 kill in the game, but at least he got something on the scoreboard. But when it comes to base XP, you can see that he did get the second highest, because the Skoda T56 picked up 1,318 courtesy of his high caliber, and Fluffy picked up 1,207 courtesy of his steel wall and the fact that he was spotting so well for the team, and 1,099 went to the Progetto 46. He fired 18 rounds in that game, got 13 direct hits on the enemy and 10 penetrations, including that lovely shot on the Emil Cupola. Very difficult to hit the Cupolas, they are so tiny on the Emils. And 3,727 hit points of damage, of which 2,443 were at more than 300 meters. So you can see a lot of long-range shooting. In fact, he was shooting up the hill and he was shooting to the right. He was shooting, he'd got tanks in front of him. I think he was having a generally good time there. 12 hits received from the enemy. only 4 of those penetrated. One of those was the Emil, one of those was the Kampfpanzer 07. Yes, it was a good position he was in. I think it would have been better the other side of the house, but that's Fluffy's choice and it worked for him. He got 8 non-penetrations, and that's thanks to that very unusual turret, I think, and the way that Fluffy was handling the battle. He blocked damage of 2,600 hit points in total. He spotted 4 enemy vehicles, damaged 8 of the enemy, killed 1, that's where he got the Confederate, and 1,505 hit points of damage assistance. That's the spotting assist, actually. And if you add that to the total he actually managed to get in the end, then you can see he actually ended up with 5,200. That's why his XP is so high. 5,200 combined, yes, very nice total. 5,300, was it? No, it's 5,200. He earned 111,351 credits from the game, and after repair, ammunition, resupply, consumables, took away 65,246 credits, 1,810 XP, times 2 for the first victory, 3,622 for holding ops, 181 for this being a premium vehicle, and took away 7,424 experience points altogether. Yes, it was a strategic play, turns the tide. I think by wearing them down and somebody sitting in the cap, the enemy had to make a move and cross the railway line, and every time they tried to do that, and whilst that Emil was trying to shoot across the railway line, he was exposing the side of his turret, and that allowed Fluffy to get some nice shots into him, and eventually that was the end of the Emil, which of course was Fluffy's sole kill in the game. That was a very nice kill to get as well, considering that guy had been really difficult to get rid of. But yes, it was a really good game in the Bofors. Probably the best one I've seen so far, but then I haven't seen that many replays come to me. But I'm sure I will in the near future, because I know that some of the Unicum players have actually got these, and more than likely one of them's going to send me one where they've 3-marked it or something like that. But this is a really good battle, and congratulations on your first cast. I'm sure that Fluffy will send me an ace tanker as soon as he gets one, and if he carries on playing like this, he will get one soon. If you enjoyed that replay, please give this video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.